Paula, you want to kick it off, Paula?
Yeah, everybody knows who we are, so I don't think it's necessary to introduce ourselves, but let's start with Brian. Who are you, Brian? Can you tell us a little bit about your background, who you are, what you've done, and also about your company, Pelican Zero?
Sure, thanks. Thanks for the opportunity. So yeah, my name is Brian Karras. I've been in the security industry since about 2008. I've been doing various venture-backed technology startups for over 25 years. So predating the dot-com boom and following a lot of technologies and trends over time. So I got into security industry in 2008 with Video IQ, basically what a lot of people would say is probably one of the first successful edge AI companies in the space. We sold Video IQ to Avigilon in, I think it was very late 2013, spent some time with Avigilon, helping to drive awareness of analytics within Avigilon internally and then to all their regions globally. Worked for a couple other companies since then, Fleer, Venture, another AI startup, and then about a year ago, kind of just switched to doing independent consulting under the brand Pelican Zero. So now I'm a business strategy consultant primarily to organizations in the security industry.
You have been always a visionary, and I love that you have also trusted the technology and the newer technologies. So I'm sure you might have heard or been hearing some words like the word blockchain. And I don't know what that sparks in you when you hear the word blockchain and how it might affect the physical security industry. But in your own words, would you be able to explain what blockchain is?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the definition a lot of the world has set it on for blockchain is it's essentially a public write-only database or ledger. And one of the most unique elements of it is that transactions are appended to the ledger based on, call it a group vote or a number of nodes or entities all processing a transaction and deciding it should be part of the ledger. So it's write-only. You can't go back and edit what's on it. And this happens publicly. It's a very distributed network. So it's got a lot of potential interesting applications. In different areas. I think it was born out of a lot of things for finance, and we've been seeing some different applications of it in different sectors, around the world in different industries.
It's very interesting because every time we ask this question, there are a few things that change from everybody's perspective on what the capabilities of blockchain is. And that is why I'm intrigued on knowing what's your opinion or why should or shouldn't the physical security industry get into blockchain, and why should they care?
Sure. So from the perspective of why should they care, I think it's always good to be aware of new technologies, new trends, new things. The physical security industry, when I got into it in 2008, it was very maligned for being far behind the technology trends. I remember when, Video IQ, we were shipping an IP camera, and one of our qualifying questions for integrated partners was just literally like, do you know what an IP address is? Do you know what a network is? Like, have you ever dealt with this equipment? Where at least now, I don't think there's a successful security integrator in the commercial space that doesn't do the bulk of their business with IP devices. And I think the security industry at large, IP devices, cloud, things like that, we've gotten better at keeping up with technology, but we're not a technology leader. And I think there's reasons for that. There's no luxury brands in the security industry. These are essentially cost center products. So there's not room or a lot of desire, I think, to create bleeding edge stuff. And even in simplistic applications, this all kind of swirls around safety and security or life safety. So it's not the area where you want to be super bleeding edge with stuff. So as it relates to blockchain, I think it's important for the industry to be aware of it, just like it's important for the industry to be aware of quantum computing and what quantum computing may eventually bring. But in terms of applications, I'd say over the next 5 years, call it like the next average refresh cycle of the security industry, I'd be very surprised if we saw a viable, profitable application of blockchain in the space. And that opinion is primarily derived from we haven't seen viable, profitable, stable applications of blockchain anywhere, I would argue. There's been a lot of startups, there's been a lot of money swirling around. And just this morning, I happened to read an article that IBM and Maersk had built a blockchain-based application for the shipping industry to handle some of the transactional logs of the shipping industry. And they just announced today that they're shutting it down because nobody adopted it in the space. And so, blockchain, the technology works. It does what it says. And, if you provide some inputs, you get the expected outcome.